What's up, everyone? I'm Mark Molina, and welcome to the Boss FM Now, where you can always count on Boss FM to deliver the latest and greatest in pop culture, politics, and whatever is buzzing in the street. We do it for the culture.
That's right, Mark. And because we know you have your phone in your hand, we need you to go ahead and download the Boss FM app from your app store and follow us at Boss FM Radio on all social media platforms so that you can stay connected.
Today, we've got a new episode of Rapid Fire with CJ, more tea with Becca, and some exciting new segments. Let's get into it.
The teenager who recorded the infamous video following the death of George Floyd offered an emotional testimony Tuesday in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin, telling attorneys the incident that has changed her life. 18-year-old Darnella Frazier told prosecutor Jerry Blackwell that when she looked at Floyd, she saw her Black relatives and friends. That could have been one of them. When I looked at George Floyd, I look at my brothers, I look at my cousins, my uncles, Frazier said. She said that stayed up nights apologizing to George Floyd for not doing more and not physically interacting and not saving his life. But she said, it's not what I should have done. It's what he should have done, pointing at Chauvin. Frazier started to cry as she described how she checked to see if her younger cousin, who also testified Tuesday, was inside the store so that she couldn't see what was happening. Her cousin exited the store and watched most of the incident.
You see, it's very upsetting to know that just like as a minority, any one of us, can be a victim of police brutality like this.
Definitely. And I absolutely agree with 100% everything she said. Because when I saw the video of George Floyd, the first thing that came to my mind is that could have been my father, cousins, or uncles. And I don't even know what I would do if I saw a video of them on the floor or if I was recording a video of George Floyd in that situation. I don't even know what I would do. It's hard to say what you would do.
No, you would be outraged, and it would just, it would take a toll on you, mentally, a huge mental toll for sure.
Definitely.
And right now, we've got a newer segment on this show titled Self-Care, and our contributor, Marianne, has all the deets. Let's check out what she has to say.
Thank you guys in the studio. So for today's topic, we're going to be talking about self-care tips. Now, I know we've been in this COVID pandemic for over a year now, and a lot of us have neglected ourselves in the process. Hopefully these tips can help coronavirus go by a little bit quicker. Let's get into it.
Now, you may not think sleeping is on the list of self-care tips, but according to everydayhealth.com, prioritizing your sleep is essential to maintaining a better mood and immune system. Working out is very important. If using weights or going to the gym doesn't interest you, take a nice jog or stroll outside to get your vitamin D. Also, try something new in your exercise regimen. Yoga is something I've done all during quarantine, and it's helped me a lot with starting my day. Self-care comes with the idea of nourishing yourself, according to expert Tanya Dalton. Cooking and baking is very healing, and it allows you to focus on your task and enjoy the delicious outcome. Now, talking to yourself in the mirror may look strange, but it is a positive step towards a fulfilling day. The self part in self-care depends on the outlook you have on yourself. Try saying positive affirmations or other encouraging messages to yourself every morning. That was your self-care segment with Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne, for the package. Now, I practice this a lot. I talk to myself in the mirror. And when I say I talk to myself in the mirror, I'm like, girl, you got this. Let's go and let's get it. And honestly, that makes your morning feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, it's a great motivator. And, I really like this package because, like Marianne said, quarantine has, it's been real rough. It's been real rough on everyone. And when just your overall happiness and, self-care is paramount in times like this, your mental health.
Definitely. I'm moving right along. Mark has information on the Manhattan Asian hate assault.
An arrest was made today for an attack on a 65-year-old Asian woman in Manhattan who was assaulted in front of a luxury apartment complex on Monday. Brandon Elliott, a 38-year-old man, was caught on camera kicking an Asian woman to the ground and stomping on her. 3 staff members of the complex watched the whole thing unfold, and while the assailant was struggling on the floor, they closed the doors on her. Elliot was already on lifetime parole for stabbing his mother in 2002, and he has been charged with multiple counts of assault, 3 of which are charged as hate crimes. And the White House has stated that Joe Biden will take more initiative on the violence against Asian Americans, as well as funding for AAPI survivors.
I don't know if you saw the video, but when I saw the video, the first thing I saw was how he closed the door. And it's just like, it's a glass door. How are you going to close this? How do you see this person on the floor? And the first thing in your mind is like, let me close the door and act like I didn't see what I saw. What thought process do you have from closing the door and walking away from the door as well?
Just, like to see someone get beat up like that and to close the door on them and just, not come to their aid, it really is a disservice, especially to, fellow, citizens.
Definitely. And now contributor CJ has a new episode of Rapid Fire. Let's check it out.
Thanks, guys, in the studio. I'm your host, CJ with BossFM. I'm here to present Rapid Fire, where we're breaking down the latest and trending news. Let's get into it.
According to Bloomberg, Warner Media's streaming platform HBO Max has recorded a 9% jump above its competitors such as Disney+, Netflix, and YouTube, amongst others. In the week that followed the debut of Zack Snyder's Justice League, app downloads for HBO Max increased by a whopping 64%, making it second in total app sessions now only to Netflix. Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, was charged on Monday for the first time with sex trafficking of a minor, as federal prosecutors accused her of grooming a 14-year-old to engage in sexual acts with Mr. Epstein and later paying her. The indictment comes almost 9 months after Maxwell was originally arrested. President Biden pledged Tuesday that the federal government will have enough doses of coronavirus vaccines to inoculate all adult Americans by the end of May, a major improvement on the previous pledge to have enough vaccines to inoculate most adults by late summer. The new announcement comes on the heels of an agreement between the Biden administration and the drug maker Merck that will allow the company to help manufacture the recently authorized Johnson & Johnson's one-dose vaccine. President Biden also pledged that 90% of adults will be eligible for vaccination by April 19th. So if you're looking to get vaccinated, you won't have to wait much longer. This has been your host, CJ, with Rapid Fire. Back to you guys in the studio.
We are now joined by CJ. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, after watching your package, the first thing that came to my mind is the conversation about the vaccine. Are you open to getting a vaccine shot?
I am at some point, but I will say that right now, I have no interest in being on the front lines to get the vaccine. It all happened just a little too quick for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to sit back, let those who want it, get it. And maybe a year down the line from now, I can see myself getting vaccinated.
I definitely agree with you. I'm in no rush to go get the vaccine at all. I'm going to let everybody get their doses first. And after 2 months, tell me how you feel.
Yeah. It just
for sure.
Wild. It hasn't even been a year and we have a vaccine. And, I know nothing about making a vaccine, but I know that it doesn't happen that fast.
Definitely. And I think.
And one thing.
Go ahead.
I was all right. Okay. And one thing that definitely wigs me out is just like the new symptoms that are coming up. Like, for example, like there's some people like I forgot, I don't know how to explain it, but like, they have paralysis on like half of their face. That's what I've seen.
And I think a lot of times with these stories, a lot of it can be fake and people are just fabricating a lot of things just to deter people from getting the vaccine. Now, I don't believe everything that I see, but I do keep it in the back of my mind. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you just got to use your reason because there's a lot of misinformation out there on both sides of every issue.
Absolutely. And CJ, don't go anywhere because we're going to have you right back for our discussion. Let's check out a film trailer created from the ideas of a Twitter thread.
Hi, bitch! You want to hear a story about how me and this bitch fell out? It's kind of long, but it's full of suspense.
You want to go somewhere with me?
That's my place. Shut it so bad.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are asking you a special prayer today. We asking you to send us niggas. Send us niggas with culture. Send us niggas with good credit.
What brings y'all here?
We making shmoney.
Money, cities.
From here on out, watch every move this bitch makes.
This bitch with a nappy
care what's up in my face.
Word. Do not trip.
I got you girls a real nice spot.
This is messy. You are messy. Your brain is broke.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
I came to dance.
No, we're done with that.
Why you on my Twitter? Why you on my Facebook? Why you on my Tumblr?
Why are you DMing me? Sis, why are you tagging me in photos? You don't even fuck with me.
Sis.
Let me know.
Sis.
Let me know.
Yes, sis.
And CJ, welcome back for the discussion.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about this Twitter thread. CJ, give us a little information about what happened.
All right. So a few years back, this girl had tweeted, like, you guys want to hear a story about something that I experienced. And it turns out that she was a stripper, and her other friend, who was also a stripper, they're from Detroit, and they went down to Tampa for the weekend, just, on a money tip, and had the adventure of a lifetime and crossed paths with some crazy people, some pimps. And then it turns out the girl she went was crazy. And it was really just like a story that really sounded like it was a movie. And so people obviously replied like, this should be a movie. And here we are 3 years later, it's a movie.
Now, before we get into more of my opinion, how did you guys feel about the trailer that we just saw?
I mean, I was just kind of surprised just knowing about the thread, seeing it like, oh, I remember this, like seeing that it's actually a movie now. So I think kind of like my first reaction was just the shock of seeing that it was actually a movie.
Mark?
I don't know. I'm definitely like I definitely want to check it out. It's just that one voice of the white actress in the movie is just that's gives me a headache. I'm sorry. It's going to be hard to sit through that.
That's cultural appropriation at its finest. The use of AAVE and Ebonics, that's a prime example. But my personal opinion, I feel like that thread, first off, I hope that girl who created the thread gets her coins because it's basically her story. And number two, when I saw this on my Instagram feed, a lot of people in the comments were like, this has a very Hollywood filter. And if you know what that Hollywood filter is, it's just basically, it seems very rushed kind of, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel like it's authentic at the same time either. And I feel like with Taylor Page, if you've seen her on Hit the Floor, she's a good actress. But if you watched her recently in the movie Boogie, this is similar to the same type of character that she's playing. I feel like she's very typecasting herself right now, where they create, have that cringy accent with the girls, sis, the gum chewing, the popping, trying to act very,
Now, which one was Taylor Page? I'm not familiar with her. Was that
she's the black one girl.
Okay.
Yes. So I will not be in a rush to watch this movie. I will tell you this right now. I'm not in a rush to watch this movie. I feel like this movie is going to be very disappointing because it has the hype now, because everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the Twitter thread I remember I was a part of. And now it's turned into a movie. We have to watch it. So I feel like it just has the hype right now. I feel like the production isn't going to match the hype that it has right now.
Yeah, people are probably going to wish that it would have stayed a thread, after the movie.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure some people just threw that idea of this being a movie as a suggestion. I don't think a lot of people were really like, oh, this really has to be a movie.
Yeah, nothing's ever happened.
Yeah, people were just saying that they didn't really want it, yeah.
Exactly. And I know I didn't want it because look at the production that they showed us for the trailer. I'm not excited for it, and no one can ever throw money in my face like that man did to her. But I'm back with more tea tonight. Let's check it out. Welcome to Tea with Becca. Grab your cups, take a sip, because the tea is here for you. And today we're going to talk about Ella Bands, the mother of A Boogie's children. She recently took to Twitter to say, "You should never have to tell a man how to treat you." And that's what I'm just now realizing. Sometimes it feels like you have to teach a man when they ain't never been in no real relationship. But nah, a man is going to treat you how he feels about you, and that's that. Now, I agree with what she said to a certain extent. But what I really want to acknowledge is that a lot of people in a relationship ignore the red flags from the very beginning because they're very emotionally invested. And the behaviors that you ignore and you normalize become a habit in the relationship. Ella is only 24 years old. Her and A Boogie have been in a relationship for a long time. You're going through things now a lot of people have gone through, and you haven't really dealt with yourself or really understand who you truly are because you've never been put in that predicament or in that situation. So I feel like take this time to really love yourself and not worry about how somebody else is going to love you, because that's when things become very problematic. And that's all the tea we have for today, but don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. Bye. So one thing I do want to say is I'm not a fan of people saying, oh, focus on yourself, because I feel like a lot of times people say it just as a blanket statement because they really don't know what to say or they really don't care about anything that you just said. So when I say that, I'm saying that because Ella has been in a relationship with A Boogie for a while, and for most of her life. She's only 24. And she's gone through things like having kids, having a luxurious lifestyle, being gifted with bags and living in big mansions. And a lot of 24-year-olds never experience that. But I feel like she hasn't experienced loving herself and actually being by herself for a while. So I really feel like she just needs to focus on herself and really get herself in that mindset of self-love and being able to just be by herself as well.
For sure, and I just feel like that journey of finding herself is going to be a lot more difficult, just for the fact that that she has children to take care of.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And Mark has our next story.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers' statewide mask mandate in Wisconsin has been struck down by the Supreme Court today. The conservative-leaning court ruled it a 4-3 that Evers violated state law by unilaterally issuing multiple emergency state orders. This is another legal defeat for Evers, dating back to October when he issued a stay-at-home order and attempts to limit capacities at restaurants, bars, and indoor places. Though his actions weren't lawful, they were very beneficial to the entire nation because there is a statewide spike of COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin.
And contributor David Medina has a new segment discussing conspiracy theories. Let's check it out.
What's up, guys? I'm David Medina with BossFM Now. Now let's hop into one of the most popular and disturbing fan conspiracy theories today, the Mr. Krabs conspiracy. So if you're a 90s baby or even a 2000s baby, SpongeBob SquarePants was definitely a show you would watch growing up. And Mr. Krabs is definitely someone you would remember. Well, according to this theory, Mr. Krabs is one of the only crabs in Bikini Bottom and the surrounding towns. The theory goes that Mr. Krabs killed off all the other crabs in Bikini Bottom for the Krabby Patty formula. So in one episode, Mr. Krabs and Plankton were once best friends. They even worked together. Until one day they started fighting over the formula. When they were fighting over the formula, the theory goes that Mr. Krabs ripped off the part that said the Krabby Patty formula contained crab meat. And that's why Plankton's business isn't doing so well, because he doesn't have the crab meat. And that's why Mr. Krabs was scared when the health inspector came, because his restaurant is literally a crab trap. The theory also goes that Mr. Krabs killed his own wife. Some may oppose this theory by saying in one episode Mr. Krabs attended a crab convention and therefore he cannot be a serial killer or a cannibal. That's it for conspiracy theories for today. I'm your host David Medina with BossFM Now. Now back to the guys in the studio.
And for our last story of the night, a woman crashed into Kevin Gates' Lamborghini after running a red light. According to TMZ, last night Kevin Gates was involved in a car crash where cops say a woman driving a Toyota Prius ran a red light, resulting in her crashing into Gates' car. The incident took place around 8 p.m. in Los Angeles. The crash caused Kevin's Lambo to spin out of control and landing about 100 feet away from the intersection before it came to a complete stop. There were no injuries, and both Kevin and the woman are stable. All right, everyone.
Well, this is a very well thought out. Oh, sorry
okay.
about that. But I just feel like this is a very well thought out conspiracy theory. As like I never really heard the actual reasons as to why Mr. Krabs is a cannibal.
Definitely. All right, everyone. That's it for Boss FM Now. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for more of the latest and greatest.
Yeah, for sure. And Rebecca has our last story. Oh my God.
And if you'd like to rewatch our show, as always, they'll be available for replay on Boss FM.
Rebecca has our last story for the night.
And thank you for tuning in. I'm Rebecca.
What happened?